You picked FLUX 3 for a project, got to the checkout page, and there was no price, just a request form. Seedance 2.0 had a live API at 0.067 per second and you shipped anyway. FLUX 3 is BFL's longest single-pass video model with native audio, and Seedance 2.0 is ByteDance's shipped public alternative. So the real question is which one you can actually use right now. Alright, one of the biggest problems I run into when using AI agents is turning their output into YouTube content I can actually use to market my product. That's why this video is sponsored by Subscriber, a tool that helps business owners connect their AI agents to YouTube and market their products without spending 10 hours every week creating content. You can connect Claude or ChatGPT directly to Subscriber. It then analyzes your business, website, and YouTube channel to help you create SEO-optimized video ideas, scripts, thumbnails, and even complete videos that actually match your brand. What I like most is that every week, Subscriber gives me a list of high-potential video ideas I can immediately execute, and it can even help edit videos for me, with or without my face, including videos like the one you're watching right now. It's easy to get started, and you can try Subscriber for free using the link in the description below. Now back to the video. So test 1 is cost, and the problem is pretty straightforward. You go to budget, a video pipeline. You need a per second API rate to run the numbers, and one of these models just doesn't publish one. You can't plan around a blank, and community-reported third-party plans for FLUX 3 range from $4.90 to $59 a month. But that's not official, which is a real problem. I went through every official source for FLUX 3 pricing, and I couldn't find a public API rate anywhere, while Seedance 2.0 publishes $0.06726 per second on OpenRouter right now. And the official Yimeng trial runs about $9.60 a month, which is a real number you can actually put into a spreadsheet, and that changes everything about how you scope a build. Seedance 2.0 takes cost, and it's not subtle. A public API rate versus literally no official number is about as clear a win as you get. So the safer pick is Seedance 2.0 because the downside of betting on FLUX 3's pricing is you can't scope the project at all, and that puts Seedance 2.0 up 1-0. I've been deep in AI video tools long enough to know that a missing price page is never a small thing, so drop a comment if a blank pricing page has ever killed a project for you. Okay, so test 2 is coding benchmark performance, and I know a lot of people watching this come from AI tool comparisons where coding scores are the whole game. You want to know if one model handles edge cases better or scores higher on human eval. So let's look at what the published numbers actually say for FLUX 3 and Seedance 2.0 on that dimension. I pulled both model cards and the answer is the same for both. Neither FLUX 3 nor Seedance 2.0 is a coding model, because FLUX 3 is a multimodal image, video, and audio generator, and Seedance 2.0 is a video generation model. So there are no coding benchmark scores for either one. Wrong dimension entirely. No score changes here. Score stays Seedance 2.01, FLUX 3.0, with this one set aside, because both models are video generators and coding benchmarks just don't apply to either of them. Now test 3 is render speed, and think about what slow actually cost you. You're iterating on a 10-second clip. You need 5 rounds of feedback, and each render takes close to 5 minutes. So that's 25 minutes of waiting per iteration cycle. And at scale, that's a full workday gone just sitting there watching a progress bar. For Seedance 2.0, the community average render time comes in at 280 seconds per clip, which is about 4.5 minutes. Real, but at least it's a number you can plan around. And for FLUX 3, I went looking. And there's just no published speed data at all, because early access means early access, and that includes the benchmarks. Seedance 2.0 picks up speed too, because a real published number beats a blank every time, and 280 seconds is at least something you can build a workflow around, so the safer pick is the model that actually tells you how long to wait, and that puts Seedance 2.0 up 2-0 with one set aside. Okay, so Seedance 2.0 has been cleaning up on the measurable stuff, but the next test is where FLUX 3 has a real technical claim on the table. So if output limits and deployment accessibility flip the score, the whole decision changes. And let's actually look at the numbers before you write off FLUX 3 completely. Test 4 is context and output limits, and the number that matters here is your max clip length in a single pass. Because if you're building a 30-second ad and your model caps at 15 seconds, you're stitching 2 clips together and hoping the cut is invisible, which is extra work, extra cost. And a seam the client will notice, 5 extra seconds per pass, is not a small thing. I put the vendor specs side by side and FLUX 3 claims 20 seconds in a single pass, while Seedance 2.0 caps at 15. So that's a real 5-second gap in one shot. But Seedance 2.0 counters hard on resolution, because it ships at 1080p standard, with 4K on Dreamina, while FLUX 3 launches at 720p, with 1080p coming later. So it's longer clip at lower res versus shorter clip at sharper image. FLUX 3 takes output limits on raw clip length because 20 seconds in one pass is genuinely longer than anything Seedance 2.0 can do right now. So the score is now Seedance 2.0 2, FLUX 3 1 with one set aside, and FLUX 3 is finally on the board. Test 5 is deployment and modality, and the scenario is simple. You've got a client deadline on Friday, you need to call an API, pass a prompt, get a video back, and if the model you picked requires you to submit a request form and wait for early access approval, you've already missed the deadline. When you're on the clock, availability is the whole game. Seedance 2.0 is live on OpenRouter and BytePlus right now, so you call the API and you get a video, while FLUX 3 is early access by request. With private waits and no public API, you can just drop into a project today. And the part that got me is that FLUX 3 actually has a broader modality set, adding action prediction and image generation on top of video, but you can't use any of it without getting approved first. Seedance 2.0 wins deployment, and the decisive reason is that a public API you can call today is always safer than a private one you have to apply for. So that locks the final score. Seedance 2.0 wins 3-1 with one set aside. So here's where FLUX 3 genuinely beats Seedance 2.0. It generates up to 20 seconds in a single pass, which is 5 seconds longer than Seedance 2.0's hard cap. It covers a broader modality set with image, video, audio, and action prediction from one network, and community hands-on reports specifically call out its native audio sync and film grading understanding as genuinely impressive. And here's where Seedance 2.0 clearly beats FLUX 3. It has a public API at 0.06726 per second on OpenRouter, so you can ship today. It outputs at 1080p standard and 4K on Dreamina versus FLUX 3's 720p launch cap. And it's available across multiple platforms right now: OpenRouter, BytePlus, Jimeng, and Dreamina. No waiting, no forms. If you need to ship video today, pick Seedance 2.0 at 0.067 per second. And if you can wait for FLUX 3's public launch and the 20-second single pass length is the thing that matters for your workflow, then bookmark it and come back. But right now, there's only one model you can actually build with. One thing that didn't come up in the benchmarks: Seedance 2.0's 4K output is locked to the Dreamini platform specifically. So if you're calling the OpenRouter API, you get 1080p max. And if 4K is a hard requirement for your pipeline, your platform locked to Dreamina, whether you want to be or not, which is not in the main docs. If you're trying to figure out whether the underlying models powering these tools are actually worth the upgrade right now, I've got a full breakdown that answers exactly that question. It's called Claude Opus 4.8, Still Worth Using, and it covers whether the capability jump actually justifies the cost at your usage level.